first step in this project is to create our basic HTML page structure as shown here. Once you've done that, save the file on your computer. You can name the file whatever you like. Next, we'll create a style sheet for our CSS rules. So inside your head tag, create your open and close style tags. We'll start with creating our first rule. This will be for the body property. Create a margin definition set to 0, padding set to 0, and a line height set to 1.5 em. This will ensure there is no spacing around the perimeter of our page content. It also sets the default line spacing for the text on our page. Next, we'll create a set of definitions for our header. So this is for the header div. Start with a background definition set to black. We'll set the font family to Arial and a height of 100 pixels. And so that is for this piece over here, the black background underneath the navigation. Now we'll need to create a style rule for the div that will contain our 3 columns. So column 1, 2, and 3. We'll name this rule content wrapper. Since we need the footer to attach itself beneath the content wrapper, we need to set a float left property on the wrapper. So that's what we've done here. We've also given the wrapper a width of 100%. This is because we're creating a fluid layout which scales and shrinks to the full width of the browser's content area. So as I expand the browser, you'll notice that the layout expands with it and contracts with it, so it's fluid. Inside the content wrapper, we need to create a style rule that will contain each individual column. For this rule, we'll create one definition, and that definition will be margin. Set the margin to 0, 230 px, 0, and 230 pixels again, and call it content column. This means that the left column and the right column will be a fixed 230 pixels at all times. The center content area will be fluid. So as I expand the browser, you'll notice that the middle content area expands and contracts, where the left and right column stay at a fixed 230 pixels. Now we can set the rules for our left and right columns. We'll start with the left. So create the following style rule. We'll call it left column. That's what we'll name our div. For this, create a float definition and set it to left. Also, set the width to 230 pixels. Set a margin left definition to -100%. This will help ensure that the columns remain positioned correctly. And for the background color, set it to this value, or you can set it to another background color if you like as well. Now for the right column, again, set the float to left, width to 230 pixels. This time set the margin left definition to -230 pixels. Again, this is for the purpose of making sure that the columns stay in the right position, regardless of the browser's size. And we've set the background color to this value, which is this yellowish background, but you can use whatever color you like. Next, we need to create a rule for the div that will hold our text content. So we'll call it inner text, and it's a class, and it'll be applied to any div that contains text content. So for example, here, here, and here. You can see that around the text we have a margin, and that's a 20 pixel margin. The font family is Arial, and the color of the text is a light gray color, and this is the hex code for the color. Now we'll create a rule for the footer, and that's this black bar right at the bottom. First, we'll create the clear rule and set it to left. And this will ensure that the footer stays in the correct position at the bottom of the content wrapper. Set the width to 100%, background is black, the text color is white, font is Arial, text alignment inside the div is center, and there's a bit of a padding, 4 pixel padding around the text.